Hello there, Lisa Fitzgibbon here from Project 7 and welcome to our check-in service. So this is where we're going to hook up with our previous headline producers and our alumni from all around the world. We're going to find out where you are, what you're doing, what you're working on, how you're doing it, that kind of thing. Anyone who's been to one of our Project 7 events knows what an intensely challenging and rewarding week it can be, where forever friendships are made and creative connections that last are created. And this is the check-in service. So we're going to try and put everyone together so we can hook you up with your Project 7 kin. And today we're checking in with singer-songwriter, Project 7 alumni, Bev Lee Harling. Bev began her musical journey at the age of 5 when she started learning the violin. She went on to tour Europe as a teenager, playing classical repertoire with the East Sussex Youth Orchestra. Bev was then inspired to write her own music when she went to Middlesex University to study jazz, and her first EP, Impossible Human, was recorded in 2006. She then joined the #1 UK classical chart act Medieval Babes, touring the world and co-writing 3 of their albums. Whilst composing music for film and TV, she found the time to write and release her own debut album, Barefoot in Your Kitchen, in 2012, and it was named Album of the Week by Giles Peterson and featured in his compilation Brownwood Bubblers 9. Bev's currently finishing her latest album, curating her solo concert series called Songs in Unexpected Places, and working with her 4-piece band, Bev Lee Harling and the Kitchen Sink, which includes glass orchestras, music boxes, and an electric drill. A true musical maverick. Hello, Bev Lee Harling. It's Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm good. It's crazy times, but it's all good here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, like you. It's a bit mad, still adjusting to everything, inside, outside, going for a run, avoiding people. It's a bit weird. But where are you at the moment, Bev?
Where am I? I'm in Hastings. My hometown of Hastings. Was born here, moved away, came back again. Love it.
Local girl. Brilliant. And what are you working on at the moment, Bev? What's your project?
My main project is getting my album finished. It's been a long road for this album. It's been nearly 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is the perfect time, isn't it, to finish things that you always wanted to finish.
Totally, absolutely. And what stage of the album are you up to? Like, where are you? Have you written everything? Are you now recording? Are you mixing? What's your stage?
Written, pretty much everything's recorded. So now we're just kind of fine-tuning most of the songs, and I'm going to do my kind of final vocals, and then it will be onto the mix stage.
Wow, that's exciting. And where are you recording your album, Bev? Have you got a studio at home because you're locked in?
Yeah, we've got a studio at home, luckily, and I'm making the album with my partner. So it's all kind of working out because, you know, obviously he's the only person I can see other than my son.
That's handy. So tell me, Bev, in an ideal world, what's your perfect songwriting setup? So explain your process to us a little bit and where you like to create. What's your songwriting environment, your ideal environment?
Well, I don't, because we have a studio here, but I don't write in the studio. I have a little back room which kind of goes out onto our garden, and I like flinging the doors open, and just kind of I gravitate outdoors, indoors, just depending on my moods. I write. I've got, just a little setup with a cheap kind of plug-in mic and I just kind of work on Logic, and I just get ideas down really kind of piecemeal. I work for a bit, get all my creative stuff out, then I kind of have a wander around the garden, or I go and do something very mundane, which seems to kind of get my creative juices flowing again, and I come back, and ideally completely undisturbed.
Ideally. How do you manage your time schedule then with the child and with gigs, because you're really, really busy, you've got all sorts of work on? Do you allocate a day a week? Do you say, I'm having 4 hours go away world? How do you manage the scheduling around your writing?
It really, really kind of depends week to week. I just have to be on my toes, basically. If I can grab that time, then I grab it with both hands. And if I can't, I have to be really okay. I've learned over the years to be okay about just holding some of that stuff in. I've got a notebook, I've got my phone to sing into if I can't make it in there. I mean, obviously my son's at school now, so that really helps. So I do, yeah. I really like writing in the mornings for some reason. It's kind of, especially, spring, summer, it kind of feels good, doesn't it? It feels like
fresh.
The whole planet's being creative, so it kind of makes you feel like doing it as well.
So you were with us for Project 7 2018 and you had a fantastic year that year. Do you have a memorable Project 7 moment? Like, I know lots of things happened for you that week, but is there one thing in particular that you'll remember forever from that Project 7 songwriting retreat?
It was definitely working with Talvin Singh. Definitely. There was a moment where I think we just suddenly got each other in the studio, and he just said, hey, you really like doing found sounds and recorded stuff. Let's go on the beach and why don't we just go and record some stuff on the beach? And it was just like, it was just like all my dreams had come true, because within about half an hour we were stood with these boats that I'd walked past hundreds of times and thought, one day I want to record this on a song. I want to record the tapping, of the metal, ding, 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 on the masts. And I've walked past it so many times and just dreamed of using that on a track. And suddenly I was stood there with Talvin Singh, hanging off a mast with this thing, thinking, is this actually happening? How is this even, my reality at the moment? It was amazing.
Wow, because one of your music projects is the kitchen, Bev Lee Harling and the Kitchen Sink. Is that correct? And you're a 4-piece band that includes music boxes, electric drills, typewriters. So that's part of your vibe, isn't it? Using experimental sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Especially kind of home sounds. So actually, it's quite funny being in this scenario, because I've seen videos of people suddenly using loads of pots and pans in their kitchen to do music and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, yes, this is my world. It's brilliant. I just use whatever I can. I have a massive table. I kind of have electric drills and all sorts of things. And I do a lot of interaction with the audience as well. It's really, really important to me to get the audience involved. And people do, because they're familiar objects. It's not like I'm handing them a violin and going, hey, babe, play this. Just pick up this old coconut and just bash it with a wooden spoon. People get really into it. And I love having that vibe where you get in with an audience, and hopefully we'll have that again at some point, where you get in with an audience and everybody's a bit kind of, don't know this person or that person or whatever, and by the end of the evening everybody is just laughing together, playing music together,
the palm of your hand, totally. Tell me a little bit about your Songs in Unexpected Places concert series, because you were doing that just after Project 7. You were telling me about it. Can you explain what the concept of that was?
Yeah, sure. So the idea is people sign up online, and they sign up for a series of 4 gigs. They can choose whichever one they want, but they don't actually know where the gig's going to be. And then they go into a lottery. And then if they get chosen, then it's 2 days before the gig. I give them coordinates of where they need to meet me on a street corner. And then I come and meet them, and I take them to a concert. And it's in a place that you wouldn't expect to normally hear music. And yeah, it's been working really well. It's brilliant. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it this year, because if I was going to be doing it in May.
What kind of places do you, just I'm interested, what kind of places do you use? Like, what are the venues?
One of the places was a fishing boat inside a fishing museum, which was also an old church. So if you can imagine this massive boat inside a church, surrounded by all of these amazing kind of old artifacts going back centuries of all these fishermen, who I'm related to some of them, so that's why I kind of did it. And only 15 people could come to that gig. So they all turned up with cushions, but they didn't know why they had cushions. And they all came and sat in the boat with me while I performed a little gig.
Fantastic. What a great idea. And did you find all the venues yourself, or did you find people were sort of coming to you saying, can you use this, or what about this place, or what about this odd space?
The first thing that I did actually was I just did good old Facebook, social media. I just asked people, is there anywhere that you can think of that would just be really fun to see a gig? And loads of people responded with loads of brilliant ideas. I mean, I ended up using most of the ideas from people. There was some incredible ones, like an old convent. There were. In fact, it was such an incredible space that I ended up performing in two venues there. One was an old gentleman's library, which was literally untouched for over 100 years.
Wow.
With all the original books. I mean, it was like double height library, just absolutely stunning. And hardly anyone had been in there. So when people walked into this room, people actually filled up with tears, because it was just like this sudden, like, oh my God, this is a really special place, and it's just been abandoned, you know. And on that same site, there was a Pugin chapel, which we actually had to chase a pigeon out of before the gig, because it was just so not used by anybody. And, you know, we had over 100 people on the street corner meeting me, and some very curious policemen as well, wondering why there was such a massive gathering.
You definitely won't be able to do that nowadays.
No, I've been into all kinds of serious trouble. Yeah, so it's kind of a really special concert series. I've really enjoyed doing it, so hopefully I'll be able to get that back on track again soon.
So Bev, you come from a classical background, and then you found jazz, and now obviously you're a singer-songwriter of experimental music in all kinds of genres. I'm just interested in what kind of music you listen to. So what's on the Bev Lee Harling playlist?
It's interesting. I've been listening to a lot of much calmer music recently. I think just because of the current climate, I haven't really been feeling like I want loads of motivational kind of stuff. So from a classical point of view, I've been listening to quite a lot of calm piano music, like Satie, Eric Satie. But I've also, I had the good fortune to find the most incredible album from my local record store before the lockdown. And I'm so glad. Yeah. I was like, yes.
What is it?
Well, it was really funny because I was in there kind of browsing, and I just sort of, you know, sometimes when you're in, you just don't, you're not feeling it, you sort of find this stuff and you're like, oh no, I don't. And then I suddenly, you know, when you just find something, you're like, oh my God. So yeah, I found a vinyl of Khartoum, who is just the most incredible Arabic singer. And it was brilliant because I found this and I took it to the counter. I was almost like, not shaking, but, you know, that's very over the top, but, you know, quite like, oh my God. And I took it to the counter, and the guy just looked at me and he just said, I really wondered who was going to buy this one. And I was like, what does that mean? And he just said, it's been in the shop for a couple of years, and I wondered if anyone would buy this album. And then he just started talking about her, and I was like, oh, he loves her as well. And this is the kind of singer that apparently in the streets of Egypt, men would be listening on their radio. When she came on the radio, they would just start openly weeping in the streets. It is the most beautiful music, and it's just got this huge, big, strong voice, and then she always has like this amazing orchestral stuff behind her.
I have to check it out. I have to look.
Yeah, she totally rules the roost. You're in really good hands with Khartoum.
Okay, so I'm going to chuck some quick questions at you, Bev. Let me know which you prefer. Here we go. Cat or dog?
Cat! Cat! I've got my cat Mingus. Yes.
Okay, good. Mingus, of course. Bach or Beethoven?
Oh. I can't decide between that. They're both amazing in completely different ways.
Who would be your desert island composer?
Beethoven.
Oh, I thought you would have said Bach, actually.
I thought I was going to say Bach too, but I didn't.
Okay, I think you've answered this. Are you a night owl or a dawn chorus?
Dawn chorus. Used to be a night owl, now a dawn chorus.
Stones or Beatles?
Beatles.
Mojito or martini?
Martini.
High street or vintage?
Vintage. You knew that one already.
Coast or country?
Coast.
Brilliant, Bev. Thank you so much for checking in with us. It's great to see you.
It's all right, pleasure.
Good luck with everything. And from your Project 7 family, stay in touch. And we look forward to hearing news of your success.
Love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing.
Bye, Bev.
Bye.
For more info and to apply to one of our Project 7 songwriting retreats, visit us at project7.com.